What I can do is better. This is good. This is better.
Once there was a galaxy, and in this galaxy there was a solar system. And in this solar system there was a planet. And this planet had a moon, but that's another story. And on this planet there was a continent. And on this continent there was a country. And in this country there was a state. And in this state there was a county. And in this county there was a town. And in this town there was a neighborhood. And in this neighborhood there was a street. And on this street there was a house, a very poorly drawn house. And in this house there were 6 rooms. And in one of these rooms, because no human can be in 6 rooms at the same time, was a man, a 37-year-old man named Gutz. And in this man there was the will of a hero. He just has no idea it's there. But he will. Oh, he will. Gutz lived a quiet life. He lived with his Aunt May. After his parents were murdered by the Dark Lord Voldemort, his aunt took him under her wing. There he resided for 37 years, which brings us to where this story begins. Gutz was eating a sandwich one day, but it was filled with gunpowder, and he was allergic to gunpowder. So he ended up in St. Andrew's Hospital. Hospitals freaked him out. The sheer thought of needles, IVs, and the ICU scared him to death. So he did a cannonball out the window. As he was falling to his death, Superman flew out of nowhere and saved his life. He slowly lowered Gutz to the ground, but sadly, Superman died due to the kryptonite in Gutz's back pocket. And that's how Superman's story ended. Gutz had no option but to run for his life, because killing Superman was the ultimate crime. After 2 weeks on the run, Gutz found himself on distant shores, where he was abducted by pirates. "Anchors aweigh," were the last words Gutz heard before he blacked out. Awakening in a startled daze, Gutz found himself in the brig of a ship, locked in a cell next to a man who had no arms. After strategically studying his environment, Gutz broke out of his cell and told the armless man farewell. The ship abruptly capsized and was washed ashore on an island. Fortunately, Gutz was the only survivor. On this island, Gutz met a wizard who needed food badly. As nightfall approached, the temperature began to drop drastically. Pulling the receipts from his back pocket, Gutz used them to start a fire. And as the flames began to crawl, Gutz thought to himself, so far, so bad. Gutz looked into the dark, unpolluted night sky, and as he stared at the stars, he realized it was beautiful. This will make no difference to the story, but it was New Year's Eve. Then, Gutz heard something like laughter coming from the forest behind him. As he ran through the forest chasing the laughter, he realized something. Something big. He wasn't on an island. He was in Canada. As Gutz was running, he tripped over a strange object. He stood up and saw that it was a book. On the cover of the book was a title, Handbook for the Sellout. Gutz opened the book, and on the first page it said, "You can't handle this." At this point he was scared, but being the idiot he was, he turned the page anyway. Again, Gutz blacked out. Strangely, he woke up in the middle of a desert, with vultures circling overhead. At least he wasn't like all those other old guys. At least he had a new hope of being saved. About 10.4 kilometers ahead of Gutz was a car, so he ran to it. Inside this car there was a man. The man told Gutz he would give him a ride if he could tell him where 0 meets 15. Gutz was a little taken aback with this question, but the car was a Blue Chrome 78. He couldn't get this answer wrong. Pondering away, Gutz thought to himself, what would the cowboys in the Old West do? So, Gutz robbed the old man and drove until the car broke down in front of the sign. And that sign strangely read, "You probably shouldn't move here." But he disregarded it, because every new day is an adventure. This world was without end. In this town, he met his greatest enemy yet, the Phantom Mullet. This fiend would constantly play in the street, get hit by cars, make mashed potatoes, and get hit by cars. But that's beside the point, and an entirely different story, which we'll have to save for another time. And then Gutz saw Lola, the sweet-talking woman who swept him off his feet. After several dates, right as the two were about to share their first kiss, Lola received the news of the untimely death of Brad, her half-brother, in Oregon. So, she left him. Gutz thought back on all the happy memories he had ever had and realized he had lost all of his goods. As Gutz walked through the fields of dandelions, he began to cry. Suddenly, loud noises erupted from behind him. Uh-oh. He figured out something terrible. He was in the kingdom of the dinosaurs. A giant T-Rex was running at Gutz, and out of nowhere a one-girl army came and saved him. Shocked and perplexed, Gutz realized it was Lola that saved him. She looked over to him and gently whispered, "Get out your riot gear." He was confused, but he did so anyway. She revealed to Gutz that she had an evil plan to save the world. The end?